Alrighty, hello there YouTube, and welcome back to, I don't know, my own insanity and giving everybody the suck. Where today I'm going to be talking about my last Epoch character that I've been playing, and I've been having a pretty good time with, but this is a Tornado Shaman today is what I have for you. So you can see, level 87, seasonal character, all that kind of good stuff. And also, if you're wondering why my tornadoes are purple, that is just a skill effect here. This is what tornadoes normally look like. They're like, I'm fine with how the tornado looks, but the orb effect here is really tough to see to me. It's really hard to like tell where those are going off and like how often they are and stuff. So I just like purple, favorite color. But anyway, yeah. So this is a Tornado Shaman, which I've been having a lot of fun with. This is a character I really just started off the season with. Might be doing a couple other things with it. I haven't pushed him too far. As you can see, I'm on Harbingers of Ruin Part 2, so I'm on the Empowered timelines now. I've pretty much just finished going through all of the base timelines, and I'm working through the Empowered timeline now, specifically the one for Lagon. Unfortunately, I really don't want to do this one for Lagon. I don't like that boss fight. But alas, I need to do it for the amulet that he drops. So I really want that. So as you can see here, though, this is very much so just this is just how the character plays. You just run around your place in tornadoes. You have a couple other things, of course. We have our summoned Spriggan with us. We have our Maelstroms that we are proccing through various means that are going off. We have Warcry, we have Fury Leap, and then we have Storm Totem. And that is the entire setup that we have. So we'll just kind of go through, hopefully not die in this map, but I might, and I'm not worried about it. Even if I die, you'll still I'll just throw it in the video anyway. I don't ultimately care that much. This character still has quite a few upgrades that need to be made, but it's just gonna take an amount of time, and I just still wanted to at least get like this initial video out, just as far as how the initial character is actually, you know, going and how he's feeling and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, here we are. I will say these specific maps that actually have the tombs in them that actually give you like the bonuses, that give monsters the bonus effects and everything. These are the scariest things I've encountered so far in the enhanced or the empowered timelines. So it is what it is, though. That's the new season. So here we are. And realistically as well, my like I said, my gear is just kind of, some of it is pretty decent, but others of it is pretty lackluster. Actually, which champion is this? Oh, it's this guy. Okay. I was gonna say, depending on the champion, I might just be screwed here anyway. I mean, I could be screwed against this guy too. I don't have very much fire resist right now, just due to some changes I made earlier. No, we're good though. My Spriggan did die though. I do need to kind of respec my Spriggan. Gotta respec him, but not going to go out of my way to do that right this instant. I'll probably talk about what changes I would make to said Spriggan when we get to that section. But oh, okay, I might be screwed actually here. Not this guy. I think he's both Whirlpool, and I think he has, yeah, I have to be close to him too, which is just terrible for this. Yeah, I'm big time screwed, and my Spriggan's dead too. I'm omega screwed against that guy. I still don't know what the Whirlpools do. They just like deal damage every now and again. Yeah, they just erupt like that. Okay. I'm gonna go after a different guy for now. Ow. Never mind. Gonna die horribly and I'm just gonna get stunned over and over and die horribly. Yeah, that's about what I expected. As I was saying, my fire resist is pretty low, and then that particular guy with the fire arrows and stuff, like, even when I was at 75 cap, he still would just completely shred at me, so I'm not too surprised I died there. Anyway, let's talk about the actual character. Like I said, probably a bad showcase for this character, realistically, to just fall over dead in the map that I'm trying to showcase him, but realistically, though, damage-wise, he's pretty solid. Playstyle-wise, pretty fun. Just place down some tornadoes, go about your business, throw down your, make your Spriggan use his thing whenever you need it. Warcry for more Maelstroms, Fury Leap for health and for the buff it gives, and then Storm Totems every time you're up against any kind of big target as well, gives us some more good buffs. So with that, we'll kind of roll into the passives. So realistically here, we do want attunement. All of our skills pretty much are very much so just attunement-based kind of skills. So we have attunement here, we're taking the Harmony of Blades whenever you're able to get your hands on a Tempest Maw, which I was not able to get my hands on a Tempest Maw for so long. I think I literally got it 3 levels ago, 4 levels ago. It's a common drop, but I just could not get one to drop for the life of me. But real quickly, yeah, just once you get your hands on a Tempest Maw, then you can go ahead and throw on Harmony of Blades and use it. I think you can use this thing at level 51, so as soon as you're able to do it, you can throw on Harmony of Blades and use that in a wand. Just have some of the extra life nodes here. We'll probably be getting some more of the life as I continue to level the character up. We're taking the spell damage, minion spell damage here, but really, we want this. The reason why we want the axe as well is for Elder Branch here, which gives us, once we put all of our points into it, 5 spell damage, and also Totem's 5 spell damage, but it's tripled when we're using an axe. So this is actually giving us plus 15 flat spell damage, which is just great. And then just flat increase to Fizz and lightning damage. Doubled while we have a minion. We do have a minion out at all times, so that's another just good generic increase of stuff for us. Down here in Druid, the main reason why we have 15 points here is so that we can get our hands on Summon Spriggan, and I'll go over why Summon Spriggan in a little while. We take some Endurance, we take Health Mana, and Attunement around here. These are kind of the only things that actually matter that are within here. Like, you could take the increased damage, but again, the 5-point bonus is for Ellie Pen while you're transformed, and we are never transforming. So, realistically, I just think these 3 points are the best options to just take. Good defensive, gives us some attunement, all that kind of good stuff. Over here in the Shaman tree, we're taking, again, attunement. This is the 1 point, I'm just going to say it out, probably don't take this point. I don't think you need to take this point at all. I just took this point early, and I have not respected it. So, realistically, this point is going to be taken away and probably put into either Stormbringer or Ascendant Circle, something like that. But then otherwise we have Ligonian Wrath. We just want it for the 4-point bonus here. So we get Stormbolts when we're hit, increase lightning damage and resist. And then over here for Avatar of Thunder, which gives us more shared spell lightning damage, which is good. You can put 2 more points there as well. But the 3-point bonus giving us Pen per 5 attunement, also very good. More attunement, Endurance Threshold here, just put all 8 points into there. But Fist of Stone, I don't think really matters. You could reasonably, I guess, do this for more endurance, but I'm not really a huge fan of that. Rune of Awe, though, more shared spell damage, just another good buff. You would also, I would say, more levels, throw some more points into just the flat attunement. Maybe even the Tempest Form point here comes over here to just for more attunement, if you really want to. And then we need. Oh, I thought I had. This is my bad. I thought I had this point at 4, so never mind. I keep changing my mind. But Tempest Form is coming over here to Swirling Maelstrom for the 4-point bonus for the Endurance Threshold per stack of Maelstrom, which will then be very nice. We'll have some more. We have just more chance every time we cast. We have a chance to generate a Stormbolt, which we aren't channeling anything, but at least while we're casting, we are then getting more Stormbolts per cast, which we do cast, obviously, tornadoes and everything very often, so that's great. And then Conflux over here is also great just for indirect Stormbolt cast to give us, we have a chance for 20%. The less damage taken from shocked enemies is nice, and the increased area for area skills is also just another kind of quality of life good buff. Up here we have some more life and armor, and then Ascendant Circle is the other one that I'm really going to be dumping some points into, where we get more spell damage with an active totem. We have our active totem out fairly often. We have our storm totem out fairly often, and yeah, that'll just give us another good chunk of damage from that. And that's really what we're running. Gear-wise, I don't think there's anything super duper necessary for this build, but generic stats you're looking for would be things like this, cast speed, lightning damage, lightning penetration. This would be like a really good wand to use. Alternatively, if you had a double exalted one that had, instead of lightning damage, maybe just flat spell damage, or instead of a cast speed, just flat spell damage. So there's some rearranging that can happen here on the spell wand, and you would still be really good. Offhand wise, like I said, you're using Tempest Maw. Try to get one probably with more legendary potential. Slam it together with another axe to put that legendary potential onto it. Bada bing, bada boom, there you go. I just have not found another axe that I wanted to try to put a stat onto this yet. And ideally, if I can find one with 2 legendary potential at least instead, that would be nice. But with how rare this apparently is for me, I wasn't really holding my breath at the same time. Amulet-wise, like I was saying, There is an amulet that comes from Lagon that is actually better than a rare or an exalted or anything. It gives you more lightning damage per stack of Maelstrom that you have, which is very strong, but it requires you to kill empowered Lagon, so you have to be in the actual empowered ending of the storm timeline, and you have to do all that stuff. If you're able to do it, great. I don't even know when I will be able to do it. I hate that fight, regardless. But those are probably the two big things that I would say. Defensive value wise as well, you can get some good defensive value out of Mantle of the Pale Ox. This just gives us a bunch more life, some more move speed. But the really the nice thing about it is that you can do we get the more life for us and our minions, but then also 20% of damage is redirected to our summoned Spriggan instead, who is already at least generically pretty tanky. And then you would just try to just put some legendary potential like the Tornado or the Maelstrom Tornado thing here is really nice, but realistically, anything here would be really nice. The biggest thing is the +2 to Tornado. The +2 to Maelstrom is less important, but for sure. But +2 to Tornado, or if you were able to get an Exalted +3 and then slam that over here, even better for you. So that's pretty much what I have in plan for the body armor section. I'm just kind of trying to see if I can get another, like an Exalted chest piece, or even another +2 Tornado chest piece, and then come over here and slam it onto Mantle of the Pale Ox. But I'm not too terribly worried about all of that. Glove-wise, we just have some generic stuff. Realistically, I do need more life on this character too. That's going to be another thing that's going to be really helpful in the sense of, you know, actually saving my own life. So a lot of these items could also, if you are able to roll and hit actual plus life to these instead, or plus armor instead to some of these rolls, there's nothing wrong with that. The dodge rating on these gloves, I was trying to roll it, didn't get it. The armor shred also doesn't really matter. My rings are very whatever. So you can get, again, I'd say probably try to get either life or some kind of defense, and then obviously try to actually have these exalted. Belt-wise, same thing. And do keep in mind that our Tornado does scale with physical. It's Fizz, Lightning, Spell, Damage over time, Area, and Attunement. Keep in mind, though, again, Damage over time doesn't really scale it that well. I will be honest. Damage over time is really the one that you should focus on the least out of all of these. I would mostly as well try to really focus on Lightning and Spell. Lightning and Spell is also what's going to be triggering our Storm Bolts the most, so realistically you want to try to have as much Lightning and Spell as possible. But otherwise, again, I'll keep it kind of generic for the rest of the items, and also you can get yourself a better relic than this. There are certainly better ones that are out there, but this at least had some decent stuff to it, and also I just haven't found anything better since. But you can get yourself a better relic. Yeah. And then, like I said, try to get the amulet from Lagon. The our armor and stuff, you want to try to be getting attunement, and then, you know, lightning damage, spell damage, cast speed, crit, and also just a lot more life. Try to fill resistances, try to fill out more life, more armor, all that kind of good stuff there. And then you'll be in a pretty solid spot. I am mostly okay with where I am, except for fire res. I really would like this to be changed, but alas, I just have not been able to cap it, or I made like 1 or 2 replacements recently that led to me not having this capped anymore, which is tragic. Idle wise, we do just want something like this, like just casting lightning at an enemy when we're spending 10 or more mana. That is every single cast of Tornado, and then also just increase lightning damage and flat spell damage that you can get from the Weaver version of when you go into tombs. You can then apply Weaver's touch to these items, and they'll give it an additional modifier or boost the modifier. So lots of very good things to come from here. I don't know. I have literally never noticed the avalanche boulder happening, so I actually don't know if this is working. But the increased spell damage if you have an active totem is good. But the avalanche boulder, I really don't think is worth it, so I would get something else there. But again, increased spell damage if I have an active totem. Very nice. And then, yeah, pretty much just that. Oh, also, chance to cast Maelstrom every 3 seconds is another very good one. Helps us kind of keep our stacks of Maelstrom going in the background, or at least kind of kickstarts us off into our stacks of Maelstrom. And just other generic good things here, plus spell damage, all that good stuff, or crit and crit multi. Like these two guys here I could probably replace for So, I mean, just about any of these small ones here, I could replace for something else, whether it be more resists or more armor, more life, something. Lightning penetration is another thing that can roll in these, which is very nice. Like this one right here, this is actually a pretty good one. I'm fine with that guy. But like, or actually this one's also at least okay. The health on kill doesn't matter at all, but the rest of it is pretty decent. This one's pretty bad. This one is actually actively kind of bad because of I believe my my fizz resist is really overcapped. So yeah, lots of room to do cool things in the idle slots as well. Lots of fun stuff. I really do like the tombs and being able to add Weaver's touch to the specific class idols. I think that's a lot of fun. Kind of gives us more variety with what these idols used to be. They used to feel a lot more generic, so that feels a lot better. I like those overall. And with that, though, we can roll into skills. So skill-wise, the unfortunate thing to me, anyway, this is just something that I personally am not a huge fan of when it comes to Last Epoch, is that there are kind of skills that every class has that almost feel like they're necessary, and for Primalist specifically, the two that are like very necessary for just I don't think I've ever seen a build not use these two is Fury Leap and Warcry. They're just too good of abilities. They give you too many good bonuses. They do too much good stuff for you. There's literally no reason to not take these. So what does it do for us? After we use it, we gain plus 15 flat spell damage for 3 seconds. We also gain Frenzy. We restore some health, and we cleanse all ailments. Just to do a few things. We're also immune to damage while we're leaping. And then also we create storm bolts we cast storm bolts at our enemy while we are going down. And then we also gain spell damage while leaping. So it's very, very good, and just does actually a ton of damage with our Stormbolt setup specifically as well. So once again, incredibly good buff. No reason to not be taking this. This just has some cooldown recovery over here, but otherwise, pretty much try to get over here to Rejuvenating Storm, Stormbringer, and then basically max out Warrior's Entrance and get to Battle Bloom as soon as possible. I would say this is probably the most important one for just cleansing ailments early. This one becomes the second most, and then just max out and fill in from there. And then we'll go into Maelstrom here. So Maelstrom, when you're early leveling, if you want to, I actually was self-casting Maelstrom a lot while I was leveling, and then I took the Lagon Slumber here so that you could kind of kick yourself off into having a couple additional stacks of Maelstrom early, and then later on just spec out of it. The area is pretty nice, but also having 6 stacks gives us haste and frenzy. So as long as we're able to kind of continuously keep up our stacks, we're getting a lot of bonuses there. And you could reasonably take Growing Storm here to level 5 instead of the area damage. The area over here actually kind of doesn't matter that much. You could easily move that around over here. Oh, wait a second. Oh, it took a level away from this kind of recently. Whoops. Okay, so this should also be at level 3. I think just one of my levels got messed up kind of recently. And yeah, okay. So, otherwise, Maelstrom costing less mana is very important because as we are triggering it, it still takes that mana cost from us to do it. So, making sure this is mana efficient is great for us. And then just otherwise just coming over here for Power of the Storm. This lets us cast Storm Bolts when we have. Eventually, this is supposed to be -3. My bad. I didn't realize I lost a level somewhere along the way, and it took that away. So this should be at when we get 3 stacks of Maelstrom, we then do Storm Bolts at nearby enemies. And this gives us an additional target here, which is also just kind of nice for, especially for clearing while we're out and about. Just gives us more clearability. But yeah, we're just taking things that just give us buffs while we have Maelstroms, and then also still casting Storm Bolts at enemies. More Storm Bolts per Storm Bolt is great. Tornado obviously is our main damage dealer guy, so Storm Bolt on the Tornado. It's casting Storm Bolts out. Cast some more frequently, and targets can be struck from further away. I just liked putting 1 point into this just to make sure that you don't have to always put your Tornado exactly on somebody if you're being off-screened, or if you're just like running past an enemy, you could just plop one down and it'll zap them from a pretty good distance out. Aspect of the Storm is very nice. Also mana efficiency, because we are going to be getting this debris over here. It's +1. It's a multiplicative modifier of plus 100% increased damage. Kind of got to take it. It's just too good to really pass up on. So mana efficiency is going to be important. Aspect of the Storm, this is something that procs every time we cast Tornado, you can only have one instance, but every single time we cast it, we are just getting another instance anyway. So ultimately, this is permanent uptime. So I didn't even really feel the need to come over here and get more duration on it, because we're casting it so often that it's going to be up basically all the time. And you could reasonably put a third level here if you wanted to, and remove either Overcast Skies or one level from Trail of Storms or something. Trail of Storms is the Storm Orbs. So these little extra purple orbs that you see here are all of the Storm Orbs that are going out, which is just another cool additional damage set and effect, and then we just make it pop more frequently. Summon Spriggan wise, so the main purpose that we're doing Summon Spriggan instead of something else like a Stormcrow, like Stormcrows as well. Stormcrows and I would say Wolves as well are probably two very good other options that you could go with, and I would not say that you're wrong for doing that, but Summon Spriggan just gives us some really good life regen and has some really good additional effects on top of what it does. That's awesome. But the healing aura that it has, the healing aura that it pushes out, gives us a good amount of healing anyway. But also, while we're near the Spriggan, basically, while we're in its healing aura and rejuvenating wind all the time, we also gain a flat plus 15 spell damage, and we also get plus 8% base crit and some crit avoidance. So incredibly good just buff to have. Spriggan really juices us as characters. And then you can also take these ensnaring roots over here. You can take the ensnaring root things, and they will the Spriggan will cast ensnaring roots towards you to heal you. So also now heals allies it hits. So every time it will be like, oh, there's an enemy near you, and it'll cast it at you, which then ensnares enemies, and it also heals you at the same time for a pretty good chunk of health as well. Any additional points should go towards giving it some more armor or some more life overall, I would say. The Ensnaring Roots damage, I actually don't think this is worth it, and actually, I am going to respect that point right now. It doesn't, like, ultimately, we don't care about the Spriggan's damage much. We care far more about it living to heal us, and it giving us our buff the entire time, basically. So, that is what Spriggan is here for. It's just another support system for us. And lastly, Warcry. This is the other very necessary one that I would say for Shaman that exists. As unfortunate as it is to say it is basically necessary, it is pretty necessary. So what does it give us? It gets haste. We get haste for a second, or I think it is longer. I can't tell you what the actual duration on it is, because it's kind of strange. But we also get frenzy. So we're actually getting haste here, frenzy here. So that means that if we are under our 6 stacks over here, then we still get haste and frenzy when we Warcry. But if we do have 6 stacks, then we are essentially always on haste and frenzy. Because you can't always be on 6 stacks. Sometimes you just don't have enough enemies around, or just you're in the middle of a boss fight, you're not generating enough stacks fast enough. So having the extra boost from Warcry is very nice. Otherwise, you and allies gain increased crit for 4 seconds after using. And also when you crit, you have a chance to proc Warcry again, which then just refreshes all of its duration. So just another good solid note up here. But most importantly, and you're invulnerable after you Warcry, crazy good. You heal when you Warcry, you cleanse negative ailments, and it will actually give us 4 stacks of Maelstrom for free as soon as we use Maelstrom. Cast this way, it costs less mana. Sorry, it costs mana still, but it does just give us, bam, 4 stacks. So there we go. Just like that, you get a bunch of buffs, you cast your Maelstrom, so it's really just a good, like, pick-me-up kind of button that you have to really just start proccing and getting to work with against enemies. And yeah, that is our whole setup here. So I don't really know how to format these videos too well. It's not very much like a Path of Exile build to me. They're similar, but also still enough differences to where I have to think about it. But this character has been a lot of fun. Like I said, I still have quite a few upgrades to make. A lot of this gear should either be exalted, or there should be a couple of uniques in different places, and I'm missing some legendary potential and all that kind of stuff, and you know, need more levels for just like my passive tree and all that kind of stuff. So plenty of room for improvements for this character, but it's been very cruisy. I've really just made my way all the way up to 87 very quick. This is actually, it's funny, this is the highest level character I have right now. This is the highest level character. I really have not pushed further than this. I probably will try to get this guy to at least level 90. And try to do some other of the empowered things, the other end game stuff, just because it's fun. It's fun enough, and I am just kind of keeping myself busy on the side with some last Epoch. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. Hope you've been having fun with the what is this, Tomb of the Weaver season, whatever, season 2. Hope you've been having a good time with some Last Epoch. Hope this video or guide, as much as I died in there immediately, lol. Hopefully hopefully it looked kind of interesting or something. But it's a lot of fun, and hope you enjoy. See you next time. Bye.